All right, we're back, and we look at the quality movement. Quality movement. Now, of course, we all like quality products, and such products have good quality. Is what makes making products that have good quality is what can make a company to be a unique company. Many of us buy wares and cosmetics from places like Macy's and Tiffany and company, because we believe that they sell quality wares and colognes and every other thing that we need for personal care. So anyway, our bottom line is this: it started somewhere. Competition make some companies to move towards improving the quality of their products as a way or as a strategy for attaining a competitive edge in the market. But now, current ideas about quality have moved to the idea that what is required in this modern day, and of course in this fast-changing world, is the capacity to respond to change. Yeah, people don't just want something that a good or a service, but they want a qualitative. They want goods and services that have high quality. So when it comes to the quality movement, it is no longer simply an issue of continuous improvement that is required, but also breakthroughs in how people think and solve problems, which in this case might involve making breakthroughs, groundbreaking products. I remember in the 15 years ago, when it was many people that didn't have can't afford to have internet in their house because it requires you to have a house phone landline, and then you have the dial-up connection that you have to pay separate fee every month. Now, the cell phone then was just used to make calls, send text messages, and maybe take pictures. I remember how difficult it was to send a text message at that time. You had to one key in the phone. You have to press several times to get the character you want to put in text message. Unlike now, where you basically type the message as if you're typing a keyboard of a computer. That then you have to use the keys in the phone and press some keys several times before the letter or the character that you want will appear on the screen or the phone. Anyway, long story short, now people like Apple brought out a breakthrough product, a smartphone that can do virtually anything. I also remember the time when you have to go to have a printer. that have a scanner before you can scan a document and email it to whoever needs it. But now you don't have to do that anymore. Not all. I mean, you still scan, but now you can take a photo of the document and then send it to the recipient in an email. So improve. So that means that quality is not only about continuous improvement on what is already existing, but also breakthroughs. Having breakthroughs, developing breakthrough products. Let me put it that way. Now, when it comes to the issue of quality management or quality movement, there's a man that is have a very influential, have been very well known and have a lot of influence on quality management. His name is W. Edward Deming, and he has been a critical person in the history of quality movement. So this Edward Deming taught method for statistical analysis and control of quality to Japanese engineers and executives. So and that was the origin of what we call total quality movement. Now, that time, during that time, the US companies were not paying attention. But in the 60s and 70s, when Japanese products started to knock out US products in terms of low price and better quality. And so that means people were diverting to buying Japanese refrigerators, Japanese cars, Japanese this, Japanese that, because they were lower costs and higher quality. That's when the US companies took notice, and then things changed dramatically. Everybody's now thinking about quality and quality and quality. So what is total quality management? Well, the concept is simple. It is based on the philosophy that that long-term success of an organization depends on a uniform commitment to quality in all the sectors of the organization. So again, it is based on the philosophy that the long-term success of an organization depends on that organization's uniform commitment to quality in all sectors, in all its sectors. So, so it's a very broad concept, and it is more bigger than just controlling the quality of the product itself. So, it involves the coordination of efforts. That effort, especially when that effort is directed at improving customer satisfaction, increasing employee participation, strengthening supplier partnerships, and then facilitating an organizational atmosphere of continuous quality improvement. So it's really a broad area of management. So now there's some other management thinkers that believe that total quality management means a way of thinking about the organization and how people should relate and work in them. The bottom line is this: customers want product that has quality, and those companies that can give them what they want in terms of quality at affordable price, they open their wallets for them. So now let's look at Edward Deming and his idea or his principle or his beliefs when it comes to quality. Like I said a few minutes ago, that Japanese people took notice of that, while the American company ignored them until they started basically eating their lunch. So they now became interested in quality movement. So let's look at just a brief history here when it comes to total quality management. it is a concept that started in Japan when the country, after the Civil World War, Japan was devastated. So not Civil World War, I mean, after the Second World War, Japanese economy was devastated. The economy was shattered. So they wanted to grow back, and revamp the economy. So, and then they invited Deming, Edward Deming, to, they consulted him basically to assist them in their bid to rebuild their economy. So, so after this, the World War, amid the bomb rubble, Japan embraced the idea of Edward Deming, who is then is an American that lives in Japan. I mean, like I say, he introduced it. He wanted to introduce the concept of the American markets, but nobody listened to him. So the Japanese, invited him, and his methods and theories are credited, can be credited for Japanese post-war recovery. They adopted his principle, and then they now bounced back very quickly. So now, Deming's idea were initially scoffed at the US, but when the Japanese economy came out from the devastation of the World War II, within 30 years, in less than 30 years, as a matter of fact, they came out swinging. American companies took interest when their Japanese products, when they started having problems, basically having trouble competing with Japanese companies in various products, in cars, in electronic equipment, and so on and so forth. So now, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, Deming's management system, philosophy is based on the continuous improvement toward a perfect ideal. So you keep on improving the quality of your products or the quality of your service forever. I would say forever, because there's always new way of doing it. And Deming believed that commitment to quality requires transforming the entire organization. And then his philosophy is based on, let's say, based on 13 points in the philosophy. Those 13 points, according to him, are 13 points for a successful workplace. And those 13 points are the foundation of the total quality movement. Now, let me play a clip for you. This clip might help you to understand what I'm talking about here. Okay. So, share sound. Let's hear the sound. All right, let's start. Can you hear the sound? Hello, can you hear the sound?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
With better quality and lower costs, you can capture the market with better quality and lower price. It'll help you to stay in business, provide jobs, more jobs. It's all very simple. One has to know how to produce quality, what quality is, what's the ultimate aim, and quality goes all the way through an organization. It can be no better than the top, no better than the intent of the top people.
That is Dr. Deming's single most important point. What needs to be done can be done only by top management. Professor Robert Reich, the Harvard economist who joined Dr. Deming and producer Claire Crawford Mason in this discussion, says that management too often thinks that reducing costs will solve the problem.
There are a lot of ways to reduce costs, but that is not going to enhance our standard of living, because our standard of living is based on improving the quality of our work and our skills, our skill bases, the value of what we do.
The irony is that Dr. Deming's 14 points will, in fact, reduce cost, but that isn't the point. They will create jobs and provide better products and services for the consumer. Quality will go up, and so will our skills. Best of all, we can reverse the slide in our standard of living that has become noticeable.
Point number 5 is continual improvement of processes. Finding what's wrong is not improvement of the process. If there were a fire here in this building and somehow we put it out, that does not improve the building. That's not improvement. That's putting out fires. People, it's very important to understand the difference between putting out fires, plugging leaks, and improvement of processes. One company I asked, what do you do about these problems? Well, we run it down to the bitter end, and even if we have to go to Brazil to find what happened, we find it out. It sounds great. That's a path toward destruction because they're not studying the system. They're managing outcomes, managing defects, instead of looking at the system that produced the defects.
Point 5 sounds like point 3.
Well, yes, in a way it does. Each of Dr. Deming's 14 points is implicit in all the others. The way not to depend on mass inspection, point 3, is to continually improve the process, point 5. To do that, you'll need quality supplies, point 4. If finding a quality supplier takes time, well, remember point 1, constancy of purpose. And also, remember to adopt the new philosophy, which just happens to be point 2. No one of Dr. Deming's points stands alone, nor did he intend that one should. The 14 points are one philosophy, an original way of looking at business and industry or anything else. But for our purposes, the 14 points are the body of knowledge that management needs to cure America's economic problems. And they have to be learned because no one is born with that kind of knowledge.
Point 6, training and retraining.
Point number 6 is training and retraining of management and of people. It's no good to tell somebody to do something when he does not understand why. You could not even, you could tell me to wash that table. I would not know what to do if you don't tell me why, what you're going to use it for. If you're going to eat off of it, it's clean enough now. Could use it for some chemical purposes, not at all.
Dr. Deming's point is that not only must the workforce be trained to do the job, it must know what the job is and why it is being done. To put it another way, true leadership is not a matter of giving orders, but of giving explanations. Dr. Deming believes that the American workforce is the best in the world, the best educated, the most creative, but it must be led, not driven. Professor Rice says it's a matter of recognizing the worker's value.
Your most precious possession is not your financial assets. Your most precious possession is the people you have working there, what they carry around in their heads, and their ability to work together.
Dr. Deming says the best way to get workers to work together is to explain specifically what each person's job and responsibility is, then to divide the work into specific steps. Each person treats the next person along the line as the customer, who must be satisfied.
Everybody as a customer in any organization, be it a laundry, bank, newspaper, manufacturing, education, no matter what. To do my work, I need to know who's going to use it. Whom am I working for? In an organization, who's my customer? Why am I here? What am I doing? And the customer, the next stage, must work with the preceding stage. Somebody put it so well, an anonymous contribution in one of my seminars. This I can do for you. Here's what you can do for me. Isn't that nice?
When work is organized that way, it's easy to see that two basic beliefs of American management are simply wrong.
Blaming the worker, right?
In a way, the first belief is that if everyone did the job and worked hard, you'd get quality. But if the process is wrong, all the hard work in the world can't make quality.
Make sweat.
The second belief is that if workers would pay attention and not make mistakes, all our problems would be solved.
Won't work.
Well, when Dr. Deming is asked about that, he asked people how they think Continental Illinois Bank got into trouble.
Do you think that happened because of mistakes of tellers? Mistakes in calculating interest on penalties and loans? Do you think so? Did anybody think so? From operations? Nonsense. Those things are attributable to management.
In fact, Dr. Deming says only 6% of the problems in industry can be traced to the workers. 94% are caused either by management or by the system. And since only management can redesign the system, only management can be blamed if it's wrong.
Justice.
Well, it's not exactly fair. Just as the workforce has to be trained, so does management. Leadership has to be better.
Point number 7 is improvement of leadership, which we commonly call supervision. I think that it should be called leadership. Leading people to help them to do a better job, be it in management or on the factory floor. Supervision should be replaced by leadership. There's no secret, once again, about what leadership is. What leadership must do is to help people. Point 13 is self-improvement, program of self-improvement, education, improvement in other ways, helping people to live better, education in whatever one's fancy might take him into, history, music, archaeology, anything whatever. Keep people's minds developing. Education need not be connected with the work. Maybe better if it's not. Point number 6 is training and retraining for the job. Point number 13 is elevating people's minds. No organization can survive with just good people. They need people that are improving. And the problem is people at the top. In any profession, the good ones are hard to find. Help people to be good ones. But the education need not be connected with the work. Keep people's minds moving.
So I will at this point, I think you get the point. So let me take you back and show you a summary of those 14 points. For Deming 14 points. I think it should be here. A list of those 14 points, I believe. Oh no, not here, not here. I think it's somewhere else. Okay. All right. I think this is it. Yeah. It's in your textbook as well. You can see that point in your textbook, I believe. But he explains some of it in this video. Let me see if this thing can give us the 14 points. A summary of the 14 points I mean to say. Let's see. 14 point. Yeah, this is Deming. So now look at the screen, you can see the Deming's 14 points. It says here that no discussion about leadership and quality is complete without including Deming's 14 points for a successful workplace. And that these points are timeless and can be applied in both private and public organizations. So the first one is the consistency and continuity of purpose. Here, Deming is saying that we should plan product with an eye to the long-range need of the company. So don't let quarterly reports make you to pause. Because in the US, corporations are required to publish financial statement every quarter. So, and most CEOs, their tenure is based on their performance. If they perform well, the board wants them to stay more. And the board can see that in their quarterly reports. Tells them, okay, if the company is from the financial statements, if the company is making money or not. So because of that, many CEOs focus on that. So if there's a long project that will benefit the company in let's say 10 years from now, or 5 years from now, they ignore it because it doesn't reflect on their quarterly reports. So, but if they see a project that will benefit the company in the short this year, but may not benefit it in the coming years, that's the one they will do so that they can boost their career. The board will say, "Oh, he's doing well or she's doing well," and they will keep him or keep her. So, other points here that then discuss include setting high standards and eliminating dependence on mass inspection for quality. There are 14 of them. I would say the good news is that they are also in your book, textbook. So I would recommend that you read them, read this one, and then to understand what they are talking about. So which leads us to the Deming way. Now, according to Deming, surveying customers, he encouraged it, customer surveys and consulting production line workers to help solve quality problems. Then teamwork. He recommended all this. So the Japan accepted his method because Japanese workers and management do their orientation as a particular the type of people they are, their culture. They have this orientation of they are used to being uniformly. They are used to uniformity and allegiance to institutions. So it was easy for them to adopt or adapt the name's way. In the US and the Western countries, it's a little bit different at the time. Before they saw the benefits of Deming's way quality improvement strategy, when they started giving Japan an upper hand, and it actually made Japan to grow into one of the third largest world economy. So Japanese people, like I said, we are used to, and the workers and the management are used to uniformity and allegiance to institutions. So it was easy for them to adopt it. So based on what Deming taught them, they learned how to collect data for statistical monitoring and measuring of customer satisfaction. So their goal in that regard, they have to produce many of the same consumer goods better and cheaper, which is a very powerful key. So better and cheaper than that one that have made in USA. So of course they succeeded. Then the US companies now when they started losing markets, losing customers to Japanese companies, their eyes are working. They became they want to have a piece of the action. So the Demings saw businesses as bedrock institution in every society. Just you saw the business in the same way you see church and schools. So companies actually attain long-term success only if business leaders make their employees' contributions matter. So in other words, if the company or organization can use their employees' idea, they can improve efficiency and productivity according to him. So most of the application that he taught the Japanese we are done in the 1950s and the 1960s. So now when the United States saw the Japanese company doing much better than them, they needed executives to finally implement Deming's methods. So in 1980s, when Japanese car manufacturers pushed their market share to 25% of the entire car market, the car producers, the automobile producers in US, General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler, they became alarmed. So Ford Motor Company in particular invited Deming to come and help them improve their process. So Deming, of course, accepted, and then it helped Ford Motor Company to do a lot of retrofitting, and that help them really gain more market share in the industry. Okay, so then there's a concept that we call Deming's chain reaction. The chain reaction lets you reward workers as the company prospers. So instead of seeking to prosper on the back of the workers. So basically what it's saying that if the company is doing well, make the employees to benefit from that success. So according to the concept of Deming's chain reaction, when workers benefit from the success, they'll add more, they'll be motivated to add more value to the company. And then the progress and success continues without stop. So according to Deming, he thought quality could be improved by acting on the basis of hard data. So the process called plan, do, check, act cycle. It's like a cycle. That's why you call it chain reaction. Plan, do, check, act, using reliable data, continuous improvement. This is how it looks like. Excuse me. Improve the quality. When you improve the quality, the cost will decrease. Let me see if you can see this. Yeah, you're seeing it. The cost will decrease. Then there'll be few mistakes, few delays, and then better use of machine time and materials. Then productivity will improve. Of course, when improving quality also improve, you have to involve the improving the skills of the workers. So workers are involved and benefit from that too, because it is those workers that we decrease the level of rework on the machine, on the product, or who will be more efficient in such a way that there will be fewer mistakes. Now, when you capture the, it continues, productivity improves, then capture the market with better quality and lower price, then you stay in business. Then when you stay in business, you produce more jobs. See? So that's the reaction. And then it continues. The Deming cycle is also a continuous quality improvement model that consists of a logical sequence of 4 key stages: plan, do, study, and act. So you can see the cycle here. I explained a little bit of it on this section, but you can see how it goes. Continuous improvement, act, plan, do, check, and act. When you plan, you do the new improved method of production or improved method of improved service. Then you check it to see if it is working. Then if it's not working, you act. Or if you need more improvement, you add to improve it, then plan it and then implement it again. So the standard, you can see the standard here, it is a cycle. And then as you do that, standards keep going up. So quality improvement continue to go up as you do it over time. Now, at this point, we can now take a quick look at Deming's PDF cycles, the explanation. Now, the step 1 is the plan, where you plan desired changes based on empirical data. Okay. Now what is it? Let's say that the sales is 10%, and you want to push the sale to 20%. And what you sell is let's say it is bottled water. So you now plan how to implement increase that sale. Did you improve the quality or advertise more or pay workers bonuses to work overtime? Whatever strategy you're using, you implement that change. Okay, let's say you can say, okay, let us to make workers feel better, let us reduce the work week to 4 days a week, 10 hours shifts, so that workers have Friday, Saturday, Sunday to relax, and then come back to work. Now, of course, next thing is, okay, we're gonna spend another extra $100,000 in training to make them to improve the quality of this through maybe better labeling, redesign of the bottle, and so on and so forth. Implement. Then next you check after a year, you check the implementation of this plan. See what happened after this change occurred or during the test. How do you do that? You look at the sales. Did it go up? Then customer surveys. What are customers saying about the product, the newly designed bottled water? Are they, those who completed a survey, are they saying that, oh, it looks better now? It's so more, it tastes good. The level, I like the labeling. I like the design of the bottle. Then if it works, then what else do we need to do to improve it? So now the next problem might be competition. Is it possible to lower the price a little bit and under this quality? Then, if it is, then you act more, and then lesson learned after the study's result. Then, when you can determine, okay, what can be done, lower the price a little bit at this quality, since customers are commenting that they like it more, and if you lower the price, you might end up taking the market from your competition. And then you plan again how to do it, act, do it, check, and act. So the process continues. This leads us to ISO certification. Now, that ISO actually simply means International Organization for Standardization. It's certified that the management of a system, that the manufacturing process, that the service or documentation procedure has all the requirements for the standardization and quality. So you have to do with quality of a product or a process. So at this point, I think we have only 2 minutes left. So I will recommend that you read this, complete reading this. It is only about 8 pages left, 8 slides. It is really self-explanatory, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So read up and read the textbook chapter that the chapter, I think it's chapter 9. Do your homework, and I will see you guys back here next week. Okay?
Okay, Professor. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. You have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. Yeah.